The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Welcome back to Durian ASEAN. You're at the Durian Heat. And of course, I've been speaking with Adelena Lestari-Chong, who is a founder and partner at Paddy Connection, international speaker, global entrepreneur, and coach. Let's carry on our conversation.
Based on your experiences so far, you've met different kinds of people at the different levels, and of course we cannot miss this generation gap. X, Y, and we also have Z, and you never know, there will be another Z plus 1 or something. So nowadays, I believe the younger companies, they are switching into different culture. Rather than having this vertical company structure, they want to have a horizontal structure in the company. So would you share, and also what's your perspectives by looking at all these companies that are growing up?
I think that a lot of organizations, especially when they are quite large organizations right now, and for ones that are perhaps also been around for a long time, like 30, 50 years, some organizations have been around for 100 years. So all organizations go through cycles as well in terms of their culture, right? And one of the key things about running organizations or businesses is really not so much, I guess a lot of people and organizations are focused on strategy, but the culture is one of the key aspects that will drive any changes, and also to level off any cyclical economic changes as well. And sometimes people are not clear what culture is, and it can be as simple as what's the value that one wants to uphold in an organization. Okay. Values and principles. And when we have that and we're clear about that, it's not just it's important that people who develop the values and principles are clear. For example, that the board of directors or the managers are clear, but every single person in the organization needs to be clear about that. And many a times, people are not in the organization. Okay, and therefore sometimes they are unable to weather through different gaps in generations or even economic cycles. Walt Disney, for example, it's really incredible to see a company that has been there for forever,
Still exists.
It still exists and very popular and doing a really great job. They're very focused on customers' experience and satisfaction. And it's not just, people at the top, in Walt Disney that are focused on that. Every single one, right down to the cast, in Walt Disney, right down to even the sweepers, the gardeners, whoever, in the whole organization, it's very focused on the values of Walt Disney.
When you talk about values, it's a company value or individual values?
All companies are made of individuals.
Right.
Right? Yeah. And everyone agrees that, hey, these are the values that we want to carry through in our organization. Okay? And there's a buy-in for that. Yeah? And when there's a buy-in for that, everyone will treat each other, Like, for example, in Walt Disney, I once listened to the COO, the CEO of Walt Disney, and he actually said this, that for everyone in the organization, whether it's managers or leaders in Walt Disney, they are focused on treating their people, that means their employees, not only just their employees, but also their customers, people that engage with suppliers, everyone with respect.
Wow, respect is such a huge
word, yeah. Right? You treat people with respect, listen to the person, even though, we have all kinds of systems and processes in place, but each individual has got their own specific requirements and specific needs, whether it's an employee, whether it's a supplier, whether it's a customer, right? And I remember he shared this, that, in if a customer comes in, and say, the baby requires, say diapers, but the shop is closed, would the manager go and open the shop and go and get the diapers for the baby?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do what it takes, right? To satisfy, the customer, the person, and respect the person as a person, as a being. And whatever generation gaps that we have, sure, if we talk now, we're comparing baby boomers,
Yes.
for example, with X, Y, Z, previous to baby boomers, there was others as well,
Yes.
So there are always going to be times when there's going to be changes, in the way we live, in the way we think.
Yes.
Now it is very much a technology-driven lifestyle.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Everything that we do, we're so connected to the mobile phone, for
Yes.
example.
Yeah.
We don't talk about a mobile phone as a gadget any longer. It's like part of our body now.
Yes. We live with it.
Yes. It's the closest thing to us,
Yeah.
Not even our girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, right?
Yes.
So, you're right. It's the first thing that you do in the morning when you wake up is look at your mobile phone,
Exactly. Check all those notifications.
Yes.
And what's been there. Yeah.
For example, so we are all kind of conditioned, with technology that we want everything yesterday.
All right.
Right? We want everything fast, right? So with a new generation, we can talk about, the younger generation, who are like in their maybe as old as in their 30s or in the early 40s,
Okay.
as to be new generation, because this generation are people who are very used to technology already. They're used to the mobile phones, they're used to having all the answers at the tip of your finger.
Yes.
Right? You have a question, you just Google through your mobile phone.
Exactly.
Right? You don't even have to wait for your computer.
Yes. Yes.
And you've got the answer straight away. Right? You don't even have to ask anyone anymore.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And thereby, because of that, people just, want things faster. They want to have feedback from their employers, their bosses, their managers faster.
Right.
If I'm doing something right, I want to know now too what I'm doing right. If I'm not doing it right, then what is it that I'm not doing right? And, guide me, mentor me to get it right. There's a level of expectation because they want to do well fast. They don't want to take previously, people used to talk, we'll do, we're conditioned to go to school, and from school we're conditioned to actually get a job.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And after 40 years, hopefully we retire with a good sum of money. That's gone. These days are gone already.
Yeah.
and then you live a good life, so to speak, right? Your whole idea is, get a job, do well, have kids,
Step
send
by
them to
step.
school,
Yeah.
stuff like that, and then retire, and then you go for your holidays and spend time with your grandchildren. Okay, that's life. But today, that's very different.
Yeah.
Okay, people want to live now, the good life now, not wait for retirement.
Right.
Right?
That's very true.
Yeah. We want everything now. So understanding that, life is about living it now. Just a change of perspective of looking at things. So when we're dealing with, so-called younger generation,
Yes.
then, understand that, there's more interaction, there's more feedback. The authoritarian way, the hierarchical way, doesn't work so well no longer. Socially interactive, with social media, all of that is really important for organizations to actually transform, right? How to interact as well in social media, and there's a protocol to that too. And with the younger and the newer generation is very much, about wanting to understand the person, and the person, wanting to see the authenticity of the person, right? Then, and understanding why they have to do a certain job a certain way, rather than, hey, you tell me this what to do, I just got to do it, and I just got to repeat doing it, and that's going to get me to my next level. They're not going to go step by step no longer. Yes, they can still do step by step, but they need to understand why. So there's a different way of dealing, and engagement is very important, I feel. Seeing so many organizations, that works very well, right, and gels the generation gap. Sometimes the generation gap is not just so much of age, but also how many years has that person been in that same organization.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So someone maybe in their 30s, but they've been there for 10 years, as opposed to somebody who's in their early 50s, but just comes in and just been 2 years in that organization.
Oh, then that's a gap between.
That's also a gap. Because this person that comes in has got new ideas. Even though he may be 50, maybe 60, but got new ideas, new ways of doing things. Maybe is more well traveled, has postings, all around the world. So, he's got the multicultural kind of, exposure as well, and comes in to this perhaps very localized business and wanting to bring in new ways of doing things as well. So the person that is been there for 10 years, needs to adjust.
It's very insightful perspectives coming from you, and that really helps us to understand better when it comes to generation gap. Because people like to say commonly in the company or workplace, I have a generation gap in this company. I cannot communicate with all these younger generations. Or even from younger generation point of view, I cannot talk with my boss. It just doesn't work. But it's all about understanding and where they're coming from, and to be able to engage each other. As much as it may sound very easy as to how we say at the moment, of course it comes with a lot of practices and also the mindset that we really need to change in one place.
Well, I think dream big, take action on your dreams. Sometimes listen to the inner voice that's knocking on to you, There's never a perfect time to do the perfect thing. We just need to create that perfect timing, and the perfect opportunity will just land.
Thank you for tuning into Drian ASEAN. My name is Grace Cho. For more interviews by Drian ASEAN, please tune into our website at drianasean.com. If you're on the go, you can always download our TuneIn app on your mobile. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels at Drian ASEAN and Drian ASEAN TV. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. We always welcome feedbacks from our listeners. Stay tuned with the Drian Heat from Tuesday to Thursday, the same time at 10 to 11 a.m. GMT plus 8. Drian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing. You're now listening to Drian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.